Hi, everybody. I'm Romy, and this is Mark. I'm super excited to be able to share our wedding anniversary with you guys. It's awesome to be with the people that we love on our anniversary. This week, we are going to do a little follow-up for the GoPro event. So for those of you that don't know, we went to Vegas we got there last Wednesday or something. Wednesday. Was it Wednesday? I can't remember. Anyway, it feels like it was just yesterday, but then it feels like, oh my God.
Oh, we got there on Monday.
So there was a lot of people there. It's networkmarketingpro.com. If you don't follow that website, I highly recommend that you do. It's Eric Worre. He is the one that created that. When I found that site, that's actually the site that gave me my breakthrough for my block for network marketing. So this weekend is a chance for all network marketers to come together and just get inspired and motivated and be able to build relationships with other network marketers. That's one thing that I did in the very beginning, is that I got out of doTERRA and built relationships with people that were successful in other companies. And so that was really, really beneficial for me. So it's growing bigger each year. We actually posted a link in Rockstars for anybody that wants to claim a ticket for next year. We're gonna be able to get tickets through Curtis and Lisa again. So if that's something that you're interested in, please go in and claim your ticket, because we will only reserve the amount of tickets that you have claimed and are prepared to pay for. Because what happened last year, and we didn't realize that, but we claimed a certain amount of tickets because people said they wanted them. And all of a sudden, we were had to be good for that money, but we had people that said, oh, I can't go. And it's like, wait a minute. So we want to make sure that we're very on top of this, because we don't want to have to eat that. So just for your information with that. So tonight we're going to have a guest speaker. It'll be a little bit later. But for right now, we're just going to it's going to be very informal and impromptu, kind of, to be able to have the people that went to the GoPro event with us to share some of the stuff that they got out of it. So I thought that I would share one of the things that I got out of it. Mark can share if he so desires.
I just want to say one thing first.
Okay.
So Network Marketing Pro, the GoPro Mastery Recruiting event has only been going on for 6 years. Romy and I have been to 5 of those 6. The first one we went to, there was only 300 people there. It was in a small room in a big hotel, and there was only 300 people. This year, there was 16,000. So it's kind of like growing with our doTERRA journey. Our first convention, there was 3,000, and last year there was 30,000. So it's growing at that rate, but that shows you how important it is and what kind of information is being shared and given for people to excel in network marketing. You can't tell people what company you're with. It's not a company specific event. It's a network marketing event. So in fact, there was one lady, there's no recruiting. You can't try to tell somebody you've never seen before, start talking to them and tell them about doTERRA or anything else, and they can't tell you about their company. There was one lady that had left some information, like a brochure from her company, in the women's bathroom with her contact information on it, and she was actually asked to leave the event and she couldn't come back. So that's how important it is that they want anonymity as far as companies are concerned. It's only for advancing your network marketing skills.
And build safe relationships. So are we still good, Kenzie? Okay. Okay, so one of the things that I got a lot out of it, but I'm going to make mine quick so we have time for the other leaders to be able to share. So, network marketing, for this event, Eric has a little bit of skill training, but really the majority of the event is personal development. So one of the things that I thought was really cool is they had a millennial panel, and they were talking about how being an entrepreneur is sexy. And so this is directly for millennials, to be able to, for us to be able to know a little bit about how better to reach out to them. And how cool is it going to be for us to be able to reach out to the younger generation and be able to help them to see that this is a way that they can sustain their hopes and their dreams, and to be able to support their family in the way that they want. How cool will it be for us to be able to help them be able to do that in the beginning, before they end up getting stuck in some of those ruts that we have gotten, stuck in, with the mindset of it's a 9-to-5 job. That's the only way that you can and should live your life and support your family and all of that. So I think it will be, and not everybody is going to be called to to reach out to the younger generation, but for those of you that are called to be able to figure out how to touch the younger generation, I think it's important to know how. And so, like I said, they being an entrepreneur is sexy, and that's some of the things that they're looking for, is that it's the fun, and they want, you want it, and pretty much like us too, but we want to say, and we want to be able to do what we want when we want, and not having somebody else telling us that when we could do that. And so the millennials are very big on that. And so it's a matter of helping for us to be able to help show them that this is the ticket to freedom for them, and so they don't have to be stuck in that box. And so the other one that I'll share, and then I'll shut up, and then you guys can take over. It was, like I said, it was mostly personal development, and it really is the importance of the dreaming and being inspired and believing in yourself, and writing your goals down and getting motivated and helping others to do the same thing. And so Jeff Roberti, I can never say his name, but he's one of my favorite presenters. He's very positive, does not allow any negative conversations to happen in his life, in his business, any of that at all. And it's a process that he worked in for that, and he has talked about that in the past, but that's really a big thing for him. And so he said that your number one recruiting tool is you. And to me, that just really solidifies what we talk about, is how important the personal development is in your life in order to build that belief. And where'd that go? Oh, and he said, don't see things the way they are, but what they can become. So that's along the visions and the dreaming. And then the other one that I really liked is, you don't need to believe it when you dream it. Write it down and believe anything is possible. That was Jordan Adler. And to me, that is something, I think if we could grab a hold of that and not have to worry about believing what it is that we're dreaming for, because a lot of us get stuck in that, okay, if I dream it and then I write it down, holy crap, how am I going to make it happen? And so it doesn't get written down, and it doesn't get talked about, and your dreams eventually kind of go away because they get forgotten, because we're afraid to claim them. And so when Jordan Adler was talking about it, it really just, it solidified it for me even more. If it's in your heart, it's supposed to be there, and we're supposed to act on it. And so even if you're afraid to write it down and just have it be there. So that's what I got for that. So I'm not going to call people out unless y'all don't just jump in there. Otherwise, I'll start calling. But Karina has to leave early, so let's do Karina first, and then we'll do the rest quick.
So mine's really actually pretty short, and I got mine from Tony Robbins. So am I tracking okay, or am I freezing?
You're good.
Okay. So Tony Robbins had us go through a technique where we thought of three moments in our life, each one separately, but thought about that and the gratitude that we felt and all of the love, everything that we felt at that point that we were so grateful for. And we did that with three different moments in our life. And then we thought about the thing that we felt was a block in our life or something that was holding us back. And from that place of gratitude, we were supposed to view that obstacle. And how did that obstacle make us feel when we were in gratitude instead of in frustration? So that was really cool. It's an exercise I'm going to do along with the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just making sure that I'm in a good place when I look at an obstacle or what I view as an obstacle in life. So just some really good tools.
Awesome. I love the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That was Mel
Robbins,
by the way. Okay, who wants to go next?
Iris.
Where is she?
Down there in the corner.
Hi, Iris.
She's in the corner, but I think she's in the hospital.
No.
Yes, she is.
She's just laying in bed.
She's got an IV.
She's just laying in bed. She's lazy tonight.
Ooh, the internet went bad. Iris, are you able to chat? Is your connection good? Maybe not. Did you want to share quick?
Nope.
Okay.
I can go. That's fine.
I'm not sure Iris knows she's muted.
Oh, there we go.
I really want to see this. Yeah, this isn't fun. So I will stay off, but hello, I love you all.
We love you. You get better quick.
Yes.
Go back to bed.
Okay.
Hello? Can you hear us?
Yep.
I really liked, and I hadn't thought about it before, but Jay Bennett, he said that network marketing, it evens a playing field for everyone. So regardless of age, education, wealth, sex, whatever, you put in the work, you get the reward is equal. And coming from the building industry and being the old school boys club, that just really, I hadn't thought about that before. And I just thought that was awesome. So regardless if it's our son or if it's us or whoever it is, you put in the effort and you reap the rewards.
I'll go, since I'm already on here. The Jordan Adler, I really liked him. He resonated with me. I like his book, Beach Money, too. But his how he talked about how what something costs has little to do with its worth, and that kind of resonated with me. Just for example, how he auctioned off the $100 bill for $3.2 million for the I can't remember what the charity was, but yeah, that really resonated with me. And there was a lot of good speakers, though. Mm-hmm. It was hard to pick just one thing.
Yeah.
By the way, that was at the event last year when we were there that he did that. So
Oh yeah.
it was pretty exciting to see.
Yeah.
I would've liked
Latarin
to see
actually went up to the front.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Kevin just had a heart attack.
She got it up to 3.1 million.
No.
I think she billed at about 2.
Yeah.
Who's next?
I'll go.
Okay.
So, one of the things that I really liked this year actually came from Haley Hobson. She talked about people having the strong personality and being misunderstood, and that kind of struck a chord for me because I was one of those people that judged her off of just her appearance and off of the way she treats other people and from hearsay. And so for me, that really struck a chord on get your judgment in check, because it isn't always what it seems. And just because people have a strong personality, or they may be low income, or they may have a history, doesn't always mean that that isn't the person for your team. I have been quick to judge even one of my really close friends that she's actually getting ready to enroll because she has a very different personality, and I didn't think she would mesh well with my team. But she will do amazing things. She may not fit in exactly to the perfect mold that everybody has envisioned for their team or for their business, and even for their family and friends. But she has a lot to bring to the table. And, and that's Haley, and I know there's a lot of people that have judged Haley, like I have. And so the judgment needs to be set aside. And we are all one. We have different obstacles that we have overcame, and we have multiple obstacles that we will have to overcome. And bringing on different people with the strong personalities or different ways of life is actually an asset rather than a hindrance. And I love Jay Bennett too. That's already been touched on, but that's, oh my gosh, that stuff that he talked about was amazing, and I absolutely loved it.
Cool. Bye, Karina. Have fun.
I was actually waving at the newbie that just came in.
Oh. I thought you were ready to leave now.
I have 10 more minutes.
Oh, okay.
Who's
So I'll
next?
go and go.
There we go. I'm so excited.
Hi, Curtis.
That's who I was
Here's
waving
our
at.
special guest.
Hey,
Woohoo!
what are you guys having a
Those of
meeting
you
while I
that
crash the
don't know-
party?
For those of you that don't know and have never been to a GoPro, Curtis is actually the MC of the whole event, and he does an awesome job. It's like,
Mark has to say that. I send him $100 a month to say good.
yeah. No, actually, Curtis introduces all the people, and he interviews them the day before or during the day of or even a week before, I don't know. But he gets all these facts on these people and their backgrounds and what they've come from and if they have any quotes, and he knows more quotes than anybody I've ever seen in my life. But he's just that's one of the reasons I like GoPro, is just there's like 30 speakers, but so that means you get to listen to Curtis 30 times. He's just he's an amazing guy, and we're just blessed to know him and have him in our lives. And
Yes.
and we're
Well, you know,
be our special guest tonight.
Yeah.
yes, and actually Lisa's here too. We're sitting in it. What we did is, great friend, business partner Lisa. We and I both just love Romy and Mark, and so we started doing this a long time ago. But we've still got a couple of business meetings here in Vegas that we're following up over the next couple of days. So we headed out, got away from the Strip and the craziness. We decided to head out to the Red Rock Resort. So we're out here in a suite out here and kind of sitting in the living room looking out over the mountains behind us, which you can't see with the reflection. But anyway, heard you guys had this thing and sent Romy a message and said, well, send us a link. We'll crash your party.
Sweet.
So.
Well, I am super, super thrilled to have both of you. Hi, Lisa.
Yeah, she's over there. She'll sit over here in a second. I said, she was here a couple of weeks ago with you guys. I said, I get to go first. I get to go first. Once she goes, I don't get back in. No, I'm just kidding.
So we were just
She gave me one of those looks like, okay, I'm going to shoot you for that stuff.
Yep. You better speak and run.
Well, it's a great event, and it's growing. This year was extraordinary because of just how big it was, and obviously, Sir Richard Branson was a tremendous amount of fun. In fact, for those who watched, well, many of you, a lot of your team was there. You had quite a few people there, and then a lot of people watched. When Richard Branson came out, when Sir Richard came out and cut off Eric's tie, I was so happy I got to be a part of that prank. It's so funny. You've got this entrepreneur of entrepreneurs. There's no doubt about it. And just an extraordinary guy. And when you watch him backstage and he's just interacting with anybody, he's like this 8-year-old. He's just got this, 8, 10, 12-year-old youthful enthusiasm that is just mind blowing. He's such a creative individual, but he just loves to laugh and enjoy life. And, so I got down a little bit late because he was on, I woke up that morning, he was on the final day, and at 7 a.m. and I had zero voice. I said, if I time it right, I'll have no voice by the end of the event if I'm doing my job. I woke up and had nothing. So it took me 2.5 hours to recondition my voice with, hot water and honey and lemon and stuff that, so I finally had enough voice to make it through the day. And so I got down there a little bit late to take a picture with him. So I walked up to him backstage and said, Sir Richard, my name's Curtis Grimm, and I just would love the opportunity just to say hello. And you've been, someone I've admired for a long time. And he was laughing with some of the stage and crew people, and his assistant was there, and he had this little bitty pair of scissors in his hand. They're about like that tall, and they're like those like little kindergarten safety scissor thingies. And he said, oh, we're going to have so much fun. Eric's way too stuffy, and we're just going to cut off that tie, and we're going to open up his collar, and he's just going to have to loosen up because he's just way too tight, way too uptight. And so I said, well, but you're going to be hacking on the tie for like an hour. And so I said, but if you'll do me a favor and promise not to throw me under the bus, I actually have a really good pair of scissors in my briefcase over there that'll like take it off in like one swoop. And he said, oh, really? Oh, really? And he was like, so we go running over, and I've actually got a picture with me sitting next to Sir Richard with our arms around each other while he's holding up the scissors, big smile. So I told Eric when he came off, I said, sorry, brother, I just had to give him the scissors because it was just too good to miss. And he said, yeah, I just wish I'd been wearing a less expensive tie. I said, that'll teach you. Get the expensive suits and shirts, but buy the cheap ties. Much smarter. So, anyway, it was a great event. I mean, it was a great lineup of speakers, and there were some things that I think could have been a little smoother, and we're all going to talk about that in the next couple of days. But it's the first time it's gone to just such a massive thing, and so it was a huge lift for them to put this together. And I still think it went really well. I think that the timing went really well, and it'll only continue to get better, I think. Things go forward. So it was a great event.
Yeah.
Well, from the audience point of view, we didn't really see any kind of glitches or anything.
No.
So,
good. It was a little bit like the swans smoothly going across the pond, unless you're below the surface, and they're just going like this.
Yeah.
There was a little bit of that, but overall it went pretty well.
Well, from the outside, it looked great.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
That's
good. That's good.
It was awesome.
So what were some of your takeaways? What were some of the things that the golden nuggets that you guys got?
Well, that's what that's actually what we've been doing on this Sizzle Tonight, Curtis. Did you want to say that?
No, go ahead.
Oh, is with our team that was there. We've been going through them one by one and having them give us snippets and you know what their take was. So we still have a few left. We've gone through a few so far, but we still have a few left to hear from.
Absolutely. And then let me not get in the way. I just wanted to come in and say hi, and Lisa can as well. You know, the challenge for me is until the replay, I really have no idea what happens. I get little snippets. I actually got to see more of Tony than anything else because I'm actually backstage prepping for the next one as this one's out there. And so I get to see only very few things. I actually saw more of the very last speaker read it than anybody else because all I had to do was go out when she was done and bring up Eric. So, you know, that's pretty simple. But unfortunately, I actually get to see, I probably see less of it than anybody. And so it'll be exciting for me to get the replay and to go back through it. So, but I just want to stop in. I wanted to stop in and say hi. You guys are, you know, you've got a great company, a great team. You guys represent great leadership. Your team leaders do such a good job as well. And so we just wanted to say congratulations on you know, being wise enough to participate in a great event. I'm sure you guys will have massively more people going next year, which is always a smart thing and a great thing. So anyway, but while she's here, let me have Lisa just pop in. She wanted to say hi too.
Well, I want to ask both of you.
Okay.
If you guys are both together. So
Sure.
you've been.
I'll move to half the chair and she can hop on half the chair.
Okay.
Or you'll bring your own chair. I just don't know if the camera's big enough. Let's just scoot back. Okay. All right, here we go. She said you sit in the middle. I just didn't want to fall off. Okay, there we go.
That's perfect. That's perfect. So you guys have been in the profession for years and years, and you've heard a lot of things repeated over the years, but then there's also different things that kind of come up, the different transitions and how people do it, but it still basically stays the same. And but I'd love to hear from you guys. I mean, we always have little kind of breakthroughs. No matter how successful we are, we still are growing. So I would love to hear from you guys what your takeaway is that would help you in your growth process where you are now, whatever it is that's happening now.
First off, I think you're right. Technology changes, human nature never does. And what technology enables us to do is have a greater reach and leverage time. But messaging has to be proper because otherwise you just get to fail in front of more people quicker, you know, and make a fool of yourself at a faster pace. I think that for me, having done this as long as I've done it, there are always new mediums and new platforms and new implementations of universal strategies that I can pick up on. But for me, it's always the exclamation point and the things that I know, but I forget that I know, or I forget are the important things. Because I think what happens is we all get caught up in whatever we get caught up in. And when we get overwhelmed, everything becomes a priority or nothing becomes a priority. It just all becomes a list of things to knock out. And we start looking at, you know, the dog's sweater has a hole in it and I need to knit him a new one. And that's on the list. And all heck is breaking loose in the business and it's the end of the month and that's on the list. And you don't realize that, one is we can, patch the dog's sweater with masking tape and forget about it and get back to business. Because you just get like, what do I do first? I liked what Tom Schnault said. You have to be in business to stay in business. Because I think the most important thing in network marketing that we always forget is we're really not in the opportunity business. We're in the building a network of consumers for a product or service business. So not everybody who's in it has the same priorities and the same desire of what to grow it to, which is fine. Everybody can build whatever they want to build to whatever degree they want to build it, which is their choice. And sometimes we get caught up trying to get everybody to do what we think is best for them because, of course, we know best. And we're overwhelmed trying to help 100 people when really only 3 or 4 people will want to do what we want to do, and the rest just kind of want to hang out and have a little bit of fun and come to meetings, and it isn't all that overwhelming. So I think that keep the basics the basics. Make sure that you know what the business is, find out what you want your business to be, and then focus your attention on people whose goals match your own.
Romy, we lost her.
That's what I was thinking. Well, they'll probably pop off and come back on. So who wants to race and share quick? Go ahead, Dana.
So I think the biggest thing for me was that I learned, and I can't remember who said it, but was to release the things that are not up to me. It's so easy to get caught up in, if you're sharing with somebody new and they're not moving at the pace that you want them to move at because you're trying to grow faster and they're not at that point yet. So just remembering that, and it'll keep you from being held back, and it'll just keep you moving forward if you can remember that they have to proceed at their own pace and at their own journey. And I think that wraps into giving people the second chances, because I'm also one of those people that can be real quick to judge people, snap decisions. They do something that kind of irritates me, and can be really quick to judge, and I'm working on that. And then just to really embrace the journey and just respect the process that you learn full of everything. It's just this takeaway. I have lots more, but that's probably enough for right now. That's you want. I can talk forever.
I think we all can.
So we still have
Jennifer?
Hey guys, sorry about that. We just kind of disappeared for a minute. Can you hear us now?
Yes, we can.
How long did Lisa keep talking?
Well, welcome to being connected to the internet somewhere.
Exactly.
Keep the basics and never let your business be dependent upon technology.
Your internet connection.
No, any technology. Technology is an aid to business, but if you can't do the business, if it all goes off, you don't have a business.
That's good.
Yep. We had an opportunity to, on Sunday, spend time with a couple of groups that were doing some additional training. They'd asked us long before we got there if we could, pop in with their groups for a short time. And the second one that we did, we kind of concluded by sharing this process. And the reality is, as the sign said, or as the poster said that was signed, leaders show up. So the reality is that those of you who are here on this Zoom, you're the leadership by definition. You're the leadership of this team right now. By definition, you showed up. Now, it doesn't mean there aren't some leaders who just couldn't be on this Zoom right now. But one of the things we talked about was that, and if you looked at all of my introductions, one of the common themes I wanted to bring forward as we told the stories of everybody is they've all done the work and a tremendous amount of it to become really quality leader capable, mostly developing work ethic, a willingness to work hard and no fear of it, and understanding what it takes to move into success. And if they did it in this profession, then they were not fast. It was not a very fast process to go to the very top. And if they came in and achieved top ranks at light speed, because if you look, they had 10, 12, 15 years before of having developed themselves in that way. And so give yourself a little bit of a break as you look at all those seven-figure and earners up there. And that's why I wanted to share those stories. Some of them came in, one of them, at 19 and by 21 was the fastest to reach the top rank in a major company. But he started his work career at 6 years old, going to his father's job site just to see what it was like to be an entrepreneur and work hard. I mean, he wasn't working. His dad was 6 years old, just always took him out to the job site. So but by 14, by 12, he had started his own landscaping company. And, by 17, he was buying his own cars and his own homes. And so by 19, when he started network marketing, so it was
That's because he never went through the process where anybody told him that he could.
Yeah, but he watched his father. He learned a work ethic, and so there were all these people. Some people who had, started at 25 and had success, but they were elite athletes, and so they understood what it was like to go when nobody's watching. It's just not the glory of the game. It's all the hours of sweat and blood, taking orders, and listening and being coachable, and so those are the types of characteristics. So if you take a look, the ones who go to that top leadership, but you can have a team of a lot of people who never want to put in that kind of an effort, and it's a great home for them. And so that's the building the community part. And so the technology can be a wonderful benefit, but yeah, you just don't want to lose touch with the fact that it's still about people.
I'll tell you my true biggest thing about events. And I'll say this because it's leaders on the call. I don't often say this, but around this time, just like with company conventions, events are the lifeblood of the business, and they drive the business. And I am the biggest proponent of all the stages of events, from the event that you're on online, to the conference call, to the Saturday meeting, to the Super Saturday, to the regional, to the local training, to the company convention. Every stage of events, I think, are the lifeblood of business because of relatability and reliability and meeting people that you don't normally see, and exchange of stories and continuity and being a part of something that's bigger than you normally see, so that your vision can be expanded. And people always really want to know, what is the difference between those that succeed and those that don't? And it's really never, it is what they do, but what you do is largely dictated by what you think and what you see. And here's a big difference. Leaders decide, and leaders around this time are out promoting the event as to who's going to go with them. Other people take a lot of time deciding if they themselves are going to go. And they vacillate, like, am I going to go? Am I not going to go? And it's which side of the coin you find yourself on. And when you take a long time deciding if you yourself are going to go, you're not leading. You're never made a decision to lead. You're still in this thing about you. And that's okay. But all you're thinking is about, what should I be doing? Should I do this? Should I not do this? Is this good for me? Will that not be good for me? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And my takeaway was that the people that are the most excited are the people that are there that can tell me what they got their people there to see. My people are so excited. My team is fired up. You're not going to believe what they saw. And the people that are the most agitated are those that wish that they had people with them that didn't. And the distinction there is usually that the people that didn't have people with them are the people that spent most of the time deciding if they themselves were going to go. So they really weren't talking to everybody else about if they were going to go, or if they were, they told people, I haven't yet decided if I was going to go. And then they wonder why, when they go back to people to see if they're going, it gets harder to get people to go with them. So that was my takeaway, is whenever I talk to people, their level of what they got out of it and how they see the future and their excitement level is usually not about themselves. It's about who they had there or who they wished they'd had there.
Which is very, very typical in large-scale events. The key company events, the regional events.
And that was the first thing you said to me, Romy, was how excited your people were. Because you always go to events. You know how great they are. But I said, well, what did you think? You said, my people are so excited. And you got to you at the end of the conversation when we spoke on Sunday. Sunday was it? Yeah. Sunday? It's like one long day to me. Last night was the first. Yeah, I know. A week ago, so I didn't even know what the date was today. I kept saying, "Is it the 5th? What day is this?"
Yeah, I know.
The event is 6-figure and just kind of just going.
Yeah.
So I haven't seen your new house except for what I'm seeing right now, but it is pretty gorgeous.
One day you'll see it.
You were supposed to come Sunday and see it.
Yeah.
Yes. Do you know what time I got to sleep on Saturday? Oh, this is funny.
I heard.
No, but Curtis, it took him to navigate from the event center
About
to
10:30.
change his shoes. All he wanted to do was change his shoes and get to eat. And he got back to his hotel room at 4:30. I think he never changed his
Oh,
shoes.
no,
He
no,
just
no,
went
yeah.
to sleep.
You guys want to get out of the suit and tie and get into comfortable clothes and left the event center at about 10:30 in the evening after everything was done, and some wrap-up stuff. And we were talking to Eric backstage. And then I actually got into the room about 4:30.
We had to train.
We needed to get something to eat. So finally at about 10 till 12, when Sid's Cafe was going to close, we told everybody, okay, anybody who wants to is welcome, but we're going to Sid's because now I've got to get some food before I go on.
Going along with what Lisa just said, so there's a leader in doTERRA that we know really well. 2 years ago, he was at this 6-figure summit, and then he went to the event. Last year, he went to the event, and this year, and he's never really he's brought a couple people with him, but not very many. But this year, he didn't buy his ticket till 2 days before the event. But then after this one completed this year, he bought 100 pack of tickets. So
better late than never.
Everybody has a different speed of realization process.
Right.
Yes.
That's good.
And that's why this event is so important to me, is because I had such a block with network marketing when I first started. Loved the product, but had a huge block with the business model. And this is what helped me with that. And I love watching breakthroughs happen with other people when that light bulb goes on and it's like, oh my gosh, this is really good.
Dark room turns light.
Admit it.
Yeah.
When you first look at network marketing, the products are fine, but you think it's better today because it's getting to be so accepted. But you think that everybody that does it has like 3 eyes and sings Kumbaya while dancing around some campfire somewhere, reading strange poetry. And when you went to the meeting, you saw, oh my gosh, there are some normal people here. People who actually, speak, good sentences, make sense, and are intelligent. That happened for me. I found people that I could relate to, and I thought, wow, really sharp, bright, smart business people do this business. And that was, oh God, I'm going to date myself here. But that
almost
was
30 years ago.
28 years ago. So imagine when I first got involved, I thought, nah, 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 nah. But the meetings changed that for me. The bigger the event, the more chance to find somebody that you can relate to and something you can relate to. And that removed a lot of obstacles and made it easier for me to go out and share and have other stories that I could connect people with that they could relate to.
In fact, I mentioned mine a long time ago. One of the things he said is when they would go into big events, he would tell his people within different teams, don't sit together that much. If you're in an event with 5,000 or 8,000 people, scatter. Why? Because you already know each other. There's no additional benefit of the stories. You already know each other's stories, but go out and sit next to like-minded people. Say, what's your story? Why are you here? Oh, that's a great story. So you're a single mom, or you're a plumber, or you're a director, or you're a college professor, or you're a doctor. Well, how did you get in? And it's a gathering of stories. And sometimes that's one of the power events, like we said, finding people you can connect with, and also finding stories you can connect with others who would not connect with your story. And so, that's why great networkers are masters of asking questions, which is conversation, listening to the answers, and then having that repertoire of all those stories that they can share, because whomever you're speaking with, if you've really done your job at events and spread yourself out and spread you and your team out and met all the other members, and if you're at a doTERRA event, I've met all these other people from all over the world in doTERRA, I've collected all these stories, and you literally, today, you just grab your smartphone and hit record and say, tell me your story, and then go write it down later, really learn it, and build this big portfolio. Imagine building a 3-ring binder of stories that you make sure you stay familiar with, so whomever you meet, oh, I know someone from a background similar to yours. I met a woman named Romy Clark, and here is her story, and here's how doTERRA has improved what she and her husband Mark have been able to do. In fact, maybe I can get you on a 3-way call with them. And now you've got the opportunity to be able to share that with people.
You know, and I think doTERRA, I really believe that doTERRA probably has one of the biggest, if not the biggest, Amway's family reunions, may be bigger, but other than that, the event you put on, I mean, you took over both the arena and the Salt Palace in Salt Lake City with like 30,000 people, right?
Yeah.
See, this was tiny, what we just went to compared to what they compared to.
Eric's got to step up his game.
I would think so.
Yeah. And it is the community and just being able to be together like that with people. I'm a big proponent of the third party story with trying to get my point across. And that's the only way you're going to be able to give the third party stories is by having relationships with other people and being able to connect them as well.
Two of the greatest things I learned early on in my career from the mentor that really taught me everything was, one, how to edify, how to properly introduce those other members of your team who are in positions of stronger leadership that can work with your prospects or work with your team members or work with you, whatever it is. Learn how to introduce them. People say, wow, you do such a good job. It's amazing. How do you know all about them? You know so much about them. No, what I do with each of the speakers, many of them I know, so I've known their story. So I just tell a story. I could ask any of you, if you have siblings, if you don't, if you have cousins or aunts or uncles, I'd say, great, give me a name of them. You'd say, well, Uncle Robert. Say, great, tell me his story. And you'd be able to go on for hours. Well, there are speakers up there that I've had multi-year relationships with. I just tell their story because I've known it for a long time. With the speakers that are new that I've never met before, I speak to them in advance and I say, can we schedule a time where we can talk for an hour? And I say, so Rita, tell me your story. And it was a fascinating story. Mel Robbins, tell me your story. All these other folks, Alan Pariser, what is your story, Alan? And Adam Green, Adam, what's your story? So I don't go up and memorize an introduction. I listen to their story. I took a lot of notes, and then I go back and I review it.
I think we lost him again, didn't we?
I think Lisa kicked the plug in when she came back to sit down.
Oh, yeah.
That's when it quit.
Yep. Go ahead, Jen.
Me take over? Oh, man, I'm taking over for Curtis. No. I got my phone died halfway through the call, and so then by the time I got plugged back in, I missed a chunk. But I've been going through some really hard stuff since September, and I don't go through hard stuff. I hate to even say that I'm going through hard stuff, but the thing that I loved about GoPro this time was that, I took so many notes, and I plan on doing the live stream again to take more notes, because there was just so many golden nuggets that I need plastered around my room, because I know them and I believe in them, but then my daily life and the people I interact with have been convincing me that those things aren't important anymore. And I'm like, no, they are important. Live with passion and do what you love and surround yourself with people that are positive and all this stuff. So I need to remember those things and remember that I am enough and that I am amazing. And the thing that I loved the most from this convention, this seminar, I really loved Mel Robbins and how she did the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I used it about 6 times this 3 days. And it's a journey, it's a process. So far it hasn't helped me positively, but it will. But the other thing that I loved was the Norwegian Coast Guard lifeguard survivor guy that said that we are not chickens. And he said that you are all winners. You are all winners from the day that you were born. And I can prove it. And I was like, kind of blah, 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 blah. But then he said, 9 months before you were born, you beat out millions and millions of other people. Bunch of sperm. And I was like, damn right I did. You know, like I am a winner and I know that and I feel that and I believe that. So that was a good laugh because I needed to be cheered up at that moment. So that was my takeaway. You're all winners and I can prove it.
Awesome. I love that.
Let me do this. I just popped back in. I want to let you guys actually keep sharing amongst yourselves because that's what I wanted to get to. And by the way, Jennifer, that was awesome because I don't know if Mel Robbins threw it out, but in her TED Talk, she mentioned the odds are actually greater. She actually had a Harvard University group go through and do an additional follow-up. But you are one in the odds of you being you or 1 in 400 trillion. They actually revised that and they said that the odds of you are 1 in something like to the 10,000th power of zeros, of which there is no name for it. The fact that you exist with all of, as he was trying to say, with all the possible sperm, with everything, all the things, the moment in time, it's so phenomenally infinitesimal. It's mind blowing. So Jennifer, that was so fun to hear. I love that. Yeah, I love Terry. He was a great guy. So anyway, let me hop off and just let you guys know we love you guys tons. We love this team. I'm so glad you guys had a great time and continue to share the stories with each other because I'm glad I popped back in, Jennifer, you're sharing that because that's right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just go do it. You'll get better at it. You know, like I said, go out with a caring, giving heart. I'm here to serve and give, and everybody's going to be okay.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
We got to hop on in about 8 minutes, so we're going to pop over on that one and leave you guys to continue talking and going and sharing because that's the key. Share these stories, and then you guys will be able to crush it.
Thank you so much for
coming. And everybody, don't forget to commit. Get some people on your team to commit. The sooner everybody commits, the more you're actually going to finally, then at the end, have all those who follow at the last moment, which is going to make it. All right, guys.
All right. Thank you.
We love you, Curtis.
Yeah. Talk to you guys later. All right.
All right. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Ebony? Do you want to share? Do you have a mic? Kenzie, what do you think? You're going to be able to help way more than me on that.
She is unmuted.
Uh-huh. Now she's muted.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Oh, I can hear.
Yeah.
Hello. I was on my computer and I was on my computer for the video, but then on my phone for the audio.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
We can.
Oh, I just wanted to introduce Ebony. This is her first Zoom, and she's my friend. Thanks. Welcome to the Zoom, Ebony.
And the whole time that we were at the conference, I was being introduced as Joni's girl. So
yeah, she's my girl. Woo!
But anyway, really quick, I enjoyed the conference. It's the first time that I had ever been to anything like that with regards to business or seminar or whatever you call it, the event that we went to. And it just felt, hearing everything that I heard was not the first time that I heard those types of things. And I think the main thing that resonated with me was when the one lady said that everything that you need to succeed, God has already put inside of you. And I was just sitting there like, oh my gosh, because it's nice to know things and have the knowledge, but if you're not actively applying what you know, it's just kind of sitting there on the inside of you, not being utilized. And then you hear it and you resonate with it and you're like, oh, that's good, or oh, I've heard that before, or but what am I doing with it? And it's like I feel like for me, I've been kind of sitting on this opportunity And it's been right there the whole entire time, and I've never thought to do anything with it. And now I'm like super excited because I'm like, oh my gosh, like I can not just use these products for myself and for my home and tell my friends about them, but there's like a whole nother world of opportunity out there with regards to this that I didn't even like think about. So I'm very excited about it.
Awesome. Awesome. So Ebony is a classic example of why you want to bring your people. Like what they're talking about for the women's event that's coming up is that there's so much good personal development that happens at these events. Even if they're not part of a company right now, they will benefit from this kind of stuff. And so there's with Ebony, none of us knew Ebony. So that's also another example of how awesome this is for just that relationship opportunity. So now all of us got to meet Ebony. And, you know, if she wouldn't have come, we would all be missing out on Ebony. And so that's one of the things that's important for me is the more people from the team we can get together, you all win. It doesn't have anything to do with the business part. We all win because we all know each other and love each other and want to help each other. So I loved it. I'm super, super excited that you came with us, Ebony, and got to meet everybody else and just how that all played out. And the smaller groups with all of us being together like that, it really does bring some solid relationships together. And it really helps us to cross the line and to really get rid of those lines within the team for that tribe and that community, and just to really serve each other no matter what. We just serve each other and love each other. So.
And I'm so excited for Ebony because she got to meet all of us. We got to meet all of her, but she got to meet all of us.
So.
That's pretty amazing. It was a lot of fun. It really was.
Uh-huh.
Can I add something, Mom?
Yep.
So one of the things that Eric Worre actually talked about was investing in yourself. And that's, I think, if you're building the business, and even just on a personal level, you need to set aside a budget and invest in yourself. If you're not investing in yourself and you're not doing the trainings, your team cannot thrive. And that's what you want. You want a thriving team. And the only way to have a thriving team is to invest in you. And it's okay to invest in you.
Totally okay. You actually should be the first investment after your qualifying order, of course.
Well, they had a statistic while we were there, and I think it wasn't for every person that you bring to this event or an event like this is equal to, what was it, $4,500 to your income for the year for every person that you bring to an event like this.
Yeah,
so
I talked about it.
Yeah, it was like 5,000. It was something close to that.
Yeah, it's like $1,000 a person or something like that. I can't remember
it was
exactly.
$4,500 to $6,000.
Okay.
Anyway, it's not only good for you and priceless for the information that you get, but when you bring someone along, it's going to be priceless for them for the information they get, but it's going to add to everyone's paycheck, not just yours, but it's going to add to theirs. And so it's
value all the way around.
Really worth it. It's money well spent. It's all tax deductible anyway. So there you go.
Okay, your turn, Amy. Quick. Speak.
I have a couple of takeaways. I really like the social media panel, so that's too much to talk about right now, but I really enjoyed that. My two biggest takeaways were actually from Eric Worre, and they were like in between things that he sort of said on the fly. And one was to avoid the scroll hole. Budget your time on social media. And I felt like he was looking at me. I was one of those things like, is he talking to me? Because I'm so guilty of like just endlessly on Facebook. I'm working, but really, let's be honest, I'm just scrolling. So I'm doing that now and budgeting my time and going to work really hard to avoid the scroll hole and the social media sucking you in. No more Pinterest for me. And my other thing is, he said, realize that you will be significantly underpaid for a significant amount of time, fairly paid for a small amount of time, and if you are willing, overpaid for an even larger significant amount of time. And being at the beginning of that stage is the hardest part. That's where I am. And that is the hardest part because you feel like you're putting all of this money in and like, woohoo, I got a $12 check. That's awesome. Invest your LRP money, you know, make sure you're spending it. And you're like, dude, I don't have money for oil right now. But it's this whole, that's the other side of what LaTaryn was saying, the investment in yourself. You're going to have to be willing to be underpaid for your commitment, knowing that down the road, as you start to get fairly paid, that's the gateway toward really getting overpaid and then hitting what Jordan Adler talks about in Beach Money and what all these other people all spoke about, which is when you become the 5% or the 1% that succeed in network marketing and make 7 figures. So those were my 2 favorite things, and he was just talking about that.
Awesome.
And that's one thing Jeff Roberti said. It was an average person with an above average desire to make an above average income. So, Holly.
Can you hear me?
We can.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I hope my connection's okay. I'm a little confused, but my takeaway, this is my 3rd year going. This is my 3rd year. And this actually was the hardest year for me to go, to get there, really. And I spent the first day crying about how hard it was to get there and to be there, and just the place that we're at in our family and with John's school and all of that. And yet, this was the most powerful event that I've ever been to. I've never sat in any convention and literally front and center and almost the whole time there and received everything. And really what shifted it for me was we had 2 different speakers talking about pain versus suffering. And when I heard them talk about we embrace the pain and let go of the suffering, that's what really changed it for me. So I feel like, honestly, I've spent a year languishing in suffering. And it wasn't necessarily woe is me, but it was more of, I'm just not where I should be, and I don't have a babysitter for the kids. And you know what? All of that, it's excuses, and it's lingering in the suffering. Embracing the pain would be, I'm in this situation, and I've made choices to get here because I've chosen not to build the business because I've listened to fear. So I'm going to embrace the knowledge that I've made choices that's brought me to this place of where I am, and I'm going to go forth now in strength. And that was what was so different from me, even from the first day to the second day, is just choosing to put the suffering aside, acknowledge the pain. So I'm not denying that pain, but I'm not going to, coddle it and let it define my forward action. So,
holy moly, Holly. That is
really powerful.
Awesome. Gosh, I just about started crying.
So
breakthrough.
Do you see what we're saying about money well spent?
Yeah,
Look at the
wow.
breakthrough that Holly had. And each one of us had some kind of small breakthrough, I guarantee it. But what a breakthrough for Holly. And Holly and I had a talk the first day, and and we talked about some things. And
don't worry, he's not going to say.
No, but I did say, Holly, we've been talking about these same things for 3 years now. Every time we get together at convention or at the GoPro event, we talk about these same things, and I really felt that this thing was for her. And almost every speaker, she sat almost right next to us, and I just say, Holly, he was talking right to you, or she was talking right to you, and it was really great. And you could see, Holly was, like she said, she was down in the beginning. She was pretty down, but by the end, I mean, look at her, and I mean, she's on fire. So it's well worth the money and investment to go to these things. You have to do it.
I'm very proud of you, and I'm so happy for you. Way to go.
Awesome.
Yeah. Jacqueline? I think she's in on the phone. No, she can't. She's not on the phone, is she, Kenzie?
She just said hi. Can you speak?
She had messaged before that she couldn't talk. She just could message.
Oh, jeez.
Okay. All right. Anybody else want to share?
Anybody that already spoke have something come back to them, or? Nobody?
I do. I've got one other thing.
Okay.
Over the last couple of years of sharing with people, you always run across someone who thinks that they just don't have the skill that it takes to do this, whatever this is. It could be doTERRA, it could be something else in life. And somebody said the least amount of skill, but you get the largest potential reward. And I just think that that's important to remember, that when you're working with somebody and they're saying, well, I can't do this, I don't have the skills. It doesn't take any skill. It's learning about the products and having your wow moments that you share. It's no different than sharing about your favorite restaurant, your favorite new pair of shoes, or it's just sharing something that you love. And that doesn't take skill, because we do that every day. And that really resonated with me, to be able to help new people understand that all you have to do is share. That's the skill. And if they can't see that in themselves, take the time to get to know them and to compliment them on what you like about them, and something positive about how they're sharing something, and something that resonates with you. And that's how I am anyway with people, and I try to do that. But that really resonated. That's so important to remind people that they've got this. They can do it.
That was good. I agree. Anybody else? Where did my book go? Oh, there it is. I had one thing that came to mind. One thing that keeps popping in my head as during this and over the course of the days is that saying is basically where we're weak, God is strong. We don't have to have it all together. And really we're going to be called to something that we're probably going to feel like we can't do or will freak us out. But that's really where God gets to shine, when we're called to do things that we aren't the expert in. So that's one of the...
For your book, Kenzie.
But there was one, I can't find it, but I'll post it in Rock Stars. There was one saying that one of the leaders, it's a question that he actually uses to ask people. Ask people, why do you do what you do? And that's that just clicked for me. I actually wrote it down. I plan on using that question when I talk to people, especially like in the store. Really those cold contacts where you just can't figure out what to say to them. to me, that's a good question. It's a great way to open up the conversation, and
it leads right into what Curtis was talking about before. You get their story.
Yeah, totally get their story. And when they answer the question, that gives you an opportunity to be able to really listen and see where you can help them. It may not even be the business. It may not be in oil, but it will give you an opportunity to be able to see where their need is in their life. So that was my last thing.
I have one thing to add, if I can, real quick, and I'll make it quick because I know I've talked a lot, multiple times. So it was actually from the women's panel. I believe it was from Kirsten Kirschbaum, talking about the mom guilt. So, oh shit. So I actually have a lot of mom guilt. I've got 4 kids, and the business takes me away a lot more than what I want. But one of the things that she talked about is that you're building a legacy for your kids. You are showing your kids that they have, well, this is my take on it anyway. You're showing your kids and their kids that they have other options than the 9 to 5. And that building this business, we have the opportunity to have a legacy for our kids and our kids' kids and our kids' kids. And it's not just, we're not just wasting our time and missing school activities. I missed my son's first performance at school for GoPro. And after I got home, it about killed me because he cried, "Mommy, you weren't there." But the short-term sacrifice is long-term gain. So the mom guilt, it will be there, but it's one of those things that it's push past it. It is a short-term sacrifice. It's not going to be like this all the time. And the end, the outcome will be better in the end. Your kids will have a better life. Your kids' kids will have a better life. You'll be able to enjoy them. You'll be able to enjoy your grandkids without having to worry about going to work or taking time off of work. You'll be able to buy them whatever they want or whatever you want to get them or do whatever. But I suffer from a lot of mom guilt. And I'm sure that I know there's other moms that have the mom guilt or the family guilt if you don't have kids, not spending enough time with your spouse or whatever it may be. It's the sacrifice now is better long term. Okay.
I agree. That's a good point. And I think it's something that's important to remember. And the mom guilt has been coming up more and more as a topic. So I think it's important to recognize it and know that it's you're not alone in that part of it, but it is what LaTerrence says. It's a sacrifice that won't be a sacrifice for life. It's very, very short term. And then you have it. So, okay, Kenzie, you're up.
Real quick, Romy, there's been a few people that have personally messaged me, probably thinking it's you, on the Zoom tonight, asking for the price of the GoPro next year.
It will be, we're getting group tickets and through Curtis and Lisa, so it'll be $350.
Okay, cool. Okay, are you ready for the winner?
Yeah.
Okay, we're giving away an On Guard tonight, and the winner is Jennifer.
Woohoo! Jennifer!
Was that a fake applause?
Yes, it was.
Mine was real. Mine was all real.
I sat here and thought, are there any other Jennifers on the call? Surely.
Maybe it'll help your voice.
I had a little bit more earlier today, but I was on a plane all day today, so when I got home, it was just back to this twangy, tweeny, annoying hiss.
Gargle
Maybe
with
tomorrow.
Ungargle.
Yeah. You can stop the recording, Kenzie, if you want.